Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Age of Wonders 4. I actually expected to be playing this game a lot more after its release, but my wife kind of had a baby, so I think you'll forgive me. Nonetheless, I want to jump back into this because I have some builds in mind that I want to experiment with. For this particular build, I want to go something that's very diplomatic focused, not necessarily with the intention of playing nice with other players, but rather getting as many free city vassals as possible and extracting as much value out of them as I can. I guess I'll play with the humans this time around. I think they kind of fit for a diplomatic focus. They're going to swap out fast recuperation for hardy, and I could swap out adaptable, but I guess I'll just leave it as is. It's probably fine. Now for our culture, we could either go with feudal or high, and I think both would work, but I'm going to try playing with the high culture. This means we have extra opportunities to get city stability and knowledge, pretty darn good. Also, our units are going to be strengthened with an awakened trait, which means they'll do extra spirit damage on base attacks, and we can activate special traits depending on what type of unit it is. By the way, bowmen end up being pretty darn good. We'll have extra good alignment, which is very helpful when you're trying to make these city-states like you, because remember, when playing diplomacy, people like good characters and they don't like evil characters, so this suits me just fine. Also, we have the alignment agenda. If we can go to an extreme in any alignment, we get special bonuses, but at the beginning of the game, we'll be neutral with extra food and production per city stability level. That's pretty helpful. With all that in mind, the question becomes, what traits are we going to be playing with? And I think the one that is non-negotiable for this build is Silver-Tongued, down here in the Shadow Affinity. This is going to do a couple of different things for you. One, the pronouncements are going to be cheaper, which is sometimes kind of helpful if you want to play the diplomatic game with other players. But also, we're going to have free trade deals with free cities. That means even before we vassalize anyone, if we meet a free city, we can get free resources out of them right off the bat. The more we meet, the more powerful we become earlier in the game. And in a game that's all about snowballing, this could become extremely good. We also start with an extra scout to discover these vassals a lot faster, and we get diplomatic focus, which means an extra whispering stone, which means we get allegiance faster and more vassals locked in on our side. Very, very powerful trait. Now with this, I think you could do a lot of different things. I think you could even go for perfectionist artisans, which usually means you're stuck to one city for at least a long time, but it could be pretty darn good for you if you're lucky and find a city-state that's willing to give you extra production. There's other options here that could work, like maybe chosen uniters. Extra income from vassals is good, more alignment is nice, but you're very dependent on finding these city-states early, and maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. To remove some of that RNG, what we can do is go for banner lords. This is another trait that is unlocked through the Pantheon. You'll get extra Rally of Lieges, which can be helpful to get some extra units, but you also start with a nearby free city revealed and with extra allegiance, meaning you vassalize them early, and from turn 1, we should be able to get some extra resources. Depending on what we get, maybe food or production, this can end up being absolutely massive. Now, what do we want for our first tome? Great question. The Tome of Zeal is okay. Tome of Faith, not bad either if you want things like some chaplains or some healing. But I think what I'm going to do is actually go over here to Materium, and I'm going to pick up the Tome of Enchantment. I do like the idea of getting some copper golems, where we'll be able to upgrade these with some experience and evolve them into iron golems. That's not bad, especially since we can get extra experience. But I also love the idea of getting Seeker arrows early, especially when combined with the high culture, because extra range is obviously pretty darn good. So we're going to pick this one up, and hopefully that's a good choice. I'm going to go for a champion ruler because I start with extra relations with free cities, less likely that they will be at war with me, so I will be able to get some extra trade deals. And now we need to define our hero. And for this run, my hero will be Hierarch Thanael Silverlight of the Alluring Manlings. A little bit provocative, I know, but this guy's going to lead us to victory, I'm sure. And here we are in our new starting realm with our city of Oracle. Okay, I might change the name of that later, I'm not sure. Anyway, there, by the way, is our free city that we wanted to explore right off the bat, Halcyon. All right, so let's take a look at Oracle real quick and see what we've got. 44 food, 21 production, 62 research, 21 draft. It's gonna be growing in 3 turns. Not bad overall, but if we wanna go over to Halcyon, what we can do is make this even better. Let's go ahead and give them a Whispering Stone, like so. Then we're gonna go up to this trade menu right here, and we can spend nothing to either get food, gold, or Archon Blood, which gives us extra casting points. The food is the obvious choice in this case because it's going to give me an extra 25% population growth, at least for the next 10 turns. Would have been very happy to see some production as well, but food is going to do in a pinch. So right off the bat, with turn 1, we're going to be starting to scale up a lot faster, and the food works fine for me, because as long as we're very intentional about which province improvements we pick up, we should be able to boost a lot of our buildings, which is effectively like giving us free production because it reduces the cost of these buildings in half. Very strong. Gonna go ahead and set myself an extra scout like so, and we're gonna take our hero unit and start clearing out some of these little camps, get some XP going. My goal right now is to find more city-states, as many of these free cities as possible so we can enact all of these trades. I want a lot of free resources. The faster we get that scaled up, the more powerful I become. Knowing that's the case, it might actually be worthwhile getting the Wayfinder enchantment so we can have faster movement on my scouts. Yeah, not something I usually do, but it actually kind of works. Anyway, one thing that could be kind of helpful is go find some of these roads and follow them for a little bit. Either it leads you to extra players, or it's more likely to lead you to some extra free cities. Halcyon is now my vassal, which is great, so not only are they giving me some food, they're now also giving me some mana, some gold, and a tiny bit of research. This will continue to get better as they level themselves up and get more resources, and we improve our state of vassalage. They've also given me Archon blood for free, so now we have that combat casting points, and I did not need to trade for it at all. This is going to be really great, though, because the more free cities we find, almost all of them end up having some sort of a magic material. If we're lucky and we find a lot of free cities and get them to become vassals, we're going to get access to a ton of these resources for free, which can be pretty strong. One thing I am going to pick up using some Imperium is pacification, because destroying an infestation or conquering a free city gets me extra relations with all free cities for 10 turns. There is an infestation camp that just happens to be here, so if I clear this thing out, if I find more free cities in the next 10 turns, I'm hoping that means lots of relations with them, which means they're less likely to be at war with me, so we will be able to get them to give me some free resources. At least that is the idea. Okay, there's one right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and discover more about them in Sirona. Looks like they are not especially loving me yet, but let's go ahead and give them one of my spare Whispering Stones. We need to try to get them up to this Pact of Cooperation in the next 4 turns. Then we will be able to trade. I can also try to boost up the allegiance at the cost of some Imperium, and to be honest, I think it's probably worth it. Let's do that, cutting that down by 2 turns. And another free city. Excellent. Much as I would like to increase our vassalage, I'll go ahead and withdraw that Whispering Stone and send it over here and boost that allegiance again. In 3 turns, we'll be able to get some free resources from them as well. Sirona, you like me. Let's trade. What can we get for free? 30 research. That's not bad. Or more food. You know what? 30 research is amazing, though. I'm only making 73 at the moment. So, yeah, that's huge. Let's pick that sucker up. All right, now we're going to start chunking through some of our research a heck of a lot faster. And we can trade with Rampart now. 30 production, 30 more of the research. Could be kind of nice. Hasteberries, Focus Crystals. Ooh, all very nice. I'm going to go for the 30 production this time around, though I might swap that over to Science in the next few turns. For my next tome, I'm going to pick up the Tome of Faith. This allows us to get allegiance with free cities a fair bit faster with a sustained city spell. Also be able to get things like Wrath of the Faithful, which could be good, or Convent. For every city stability level above Unstable, we get extra knowledge and mana. And remember, one of the advantages of the High Culture is we have extra buildings that give us city stability. Not bad. I want to point out, by the way, that it's only turn 14, and because we got so much extra food, I'm able to get so many province improvements that we've boosted a lot of our buildings. We are constructing things very, very quickly, despite the fact that we had not received a ton of production. That said, obviously getting the extra production from Rampart only makes things better, so I'm quite happy with this arrangement. Hello, another free city. How are you? Okay, these guys are not at war with me as of yet, so since I managed to get these guys to become my vassals willingly already, never mind, no I have not. Okay, what we're gonna do is boost allegiance here. We're gonna try to boost this as fast as we can, get these guys to become vassals, then withdraw the Whispering Stone, and get over here to Draxspur as quick as we can. Oh, this is great. We've also found some Silver Tongue fruit, so we get allegiance a little bit faster, plus a Fire Forged Stone, so we cost less drafts. Oh, I love having lots of vassals. This is awesome. Another fun thing about having so many friendly free cities is you have so many heroes you can choose from whenever you go in to do some recruitment. It's pretty awesome. Looks like some halflings over here want to be friends. Okay, you know, I'm good with a declaration of friendship. It's relatively cheap because of our silver-tongued trait, so this is good. And maybe we can even do some trades. You see, I happen to have a lot of resources like Astral Dew. Maybe you'll give me something for this. Some extra mana, some extra gold? Yeah, sure, we could do that. What do we want for our next tome? I could go for the Tome with the Beacon. It's actually not that bad. The Lightbringers are pretty decent tier 4 units we could make use of. Also, Blessed Reinforcements means we can cast a spell that just simply summons 2 blessed souls under the control of a free city. Pretty good for defending them if we need to. But I also like the Tome of the Inquisition in this case because the Tribunal means extra city stability, which we benefit from with other things like the Convent. Not to mention the Inquisitor's Zeal makes our range units even stronger, and the Inquisitor is not a bad skirmisher. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, you know what? I'll go for the Inquisition. No one expected it. It's good. 2 more cities are available for some trade. Do we want to get more food or mana? I'm going to go ahead and just boost up my mana income by a lot. I've traded with these guys for an extra 36 research per turn. And I'm now working on another free city down underground called Bendleton, and in 5 terms we'll get the Pact of Cooperation with them. Not a bad idea to use a lot of your Imperium to try and boost this allegiance as fast as possible, at least until you can start getting the free resources. But just so everyone understands, it's only turn 22. I'm getting 36 research there, 12 gold there, 30 more. So that's going to be a good 66 extra research per turn, 24 mana, plus 12 gold, and who knows what these guys are going to be giving me. Like, this is all pretty awesome for absolutely free. 0 cost to myself. I love silver-tongued. Another free city. You know what this means. We withdraw the Whispering Stone from the people who already have vassalized. We get over here and we give them another Whispering Stone. In 3 turns, we can get more free stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and get some defensive pacts up and running with the other 2 good neighbors I've got. Playing diplomatically as a good character is really strong in Age of Wonders. Which is weird, because normally I love just going on conquest sprees, alright? I'm a blobber, I'm a tyrant, I'm a conqueror, it's what I do. And yet, I cannot deny that having buddies and warding off Arachna is not a bad idea. It allows me to continue soaking up so many resources uncontested from all these city-states. No one else has managed to take a vassal, alright? I'm the only one who's managed to get them so far. That's so much free stuff for me. If I just sit on this, I'm gonna snowball so hard, I'll be able to choose the pace of the game at my leisure. Maybe the Tome of Artificing wouldn't be a bad idea. I would like to have some good, strong front-line units, and the Iron Golems can do that. They're actually really quite good in that way. Artisan Armaments would affect all units I've got, as long as I have the mana to support this, and it's just 30% extra critical chance for everybody. Yeah, that's pretty good. Another free city, you know what that means. Oh, and because of all my free cities, we do now have all of the magical plants that give me Imperial Essence for extra Imperium income, which means I can boost allegiance even faster, and I probably should consider settling some more cities, actually. I still only got 2 at turn 30, and honestly, have not really needed more than that. I want to point out that it is now turn 32. We are making 331 knowledge per turn, which is pretty good, especially when you consider that about... Let's see, 73 of that is just income from vassals directly, and not to mention we've got another 108 or so just coming from our treaties. So that's a total of about 180 science coming in from just my free cities. Like, this is surprisingly viable for a city build, and we're not even really going that far into the Shadow or the Mystic Affinity. And gosh dang, we are going through the science super duper fast. There's not a lot of tomes that are super beneficial to me at this exact moment. We could go for something like the Tome of Cycles for better projectiles and inflict some blight damage. Yeah, it's a little bit in opposition to some of my existing stuff, but the Druid of the Cycle is pretty good. Alright, I'm alright with Tome of the Cycles. Let's pick that one up. And we're currently competing to get these guys as a vassal with these other elves off in this direction. You know what? This is one of the advantages of playing as Order. We could use the Faithful Whispers, cost me just a little bit of upkeep, and we'll use it over here like so, and that means we should be gaining allegiance a lot faster than they are. Yeah, allegiance per turn is 10, plus an extra 2, plus Silver Tongue Fruit, plus Friendly Relations, plus 30% more. Oh, dude, yeah, we can win this one. Easy. Haha, you fool! I will allow no one else to have the free cities. There is one significant problem that I am having with this particular build, and surprisingly, it's not actually with the gameplay itself, it's more with the stability of the game. For some reason, there does seem to be this thing where if you go to the diplomatic overview and you move between your vassals too quickly, there it goes. Okay, I just crashed the game, just like that. Boom. Very, very frustrating. I mean, the good news is the game reloads very quickly for me with my machine, so it's not like it's a huge loss of time, but obviously that's highly frustrating. Again, it doesn't speak at all to the build itself, more to something I really hope gets fixed in the near future. Anyway, what are some other fun things we can do with our affinities? Well, I could get myself an extra 10 gold for every vassal, and if I have like 6 or 7 of those, that's not an insubstantial amount of extra gold. We can make the Rally of Lieges even better, which means that they will each come with 2 extra ranks upon recruitment. That's just basically free health and sometimes special abilities. Weirdly, though, I don't have very powerful Muster of Lieges available right now, so no like tier 4 units or anything like that. Still, this is a pretty cheap way of bolstering my forces rapidly if I find that I need to do something like that. Could also make it so that vassals gain extra allegiance levels the second they're vassalized, which means even more income from these people. I mean, yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff you can do with Order. It really is intended to be a diplomatic focus, and I honestly didn't expect it to be very weak or fun, and yet, it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and declare war on this lady. I don't know, one of my allies is like, hey, you wanna go kill them? And I'm like, you know what, I've been sitting around and being peaceful for a long time. Yes, I wanna go kill them. Let's kill them all. Unfortunately, I'm starting to think that accepting a call to arms was a terrible idea over here because I didn't exactly have any reinforcements and my allies are too far away, and yeah, we're gonna get chunked on. Okay, I'm gonna lose a few units here, but we should probably just run, basically. Just run. Yeah, there we go. I only lost 2 units out of the arrangement. Not great, but like, not the end of the world, who cares? Can move on to tier 4 tomes now. If we really wanted to, honestly, with the amount of science we've been making lately, or research I should say, we really could go for a scientific victory. And if I want to do that, then the best thing to do is to go ahead and focus on getting a tier 4 and then tier 5 tome as quickly as possible. Maybe turn all of my people into angels? Yeah, I like that idea. One thing I'm very aware of in this particular video is you're not seeing a whole lot of tactical combat. And that's not because I'm just choosing not to show that stuff off for you. It's literally because there's not that much tactical combat going on right now. I'm pretty much just playing as a pacifist, and the diplomatic game does not require that I am playing on the offense all that much, except for occasionally some of these ruins and stuff like that, right? We like going into the ancient wonders. Those are still fun under any circumstance. Oh, this is fun. Master of houses, 10% more resources from all vassals. Yes, please. Let's do that. Plus the gold. Why not? All right. So all of a sudden I'm up to 578 gold generation per turn, a lot of which is coming from various different treaties and vassals. In fact, I'm getting 449 from vassals. That's insane. And I'm up to 535 knowledge per turn at turn 56. Holy crud, this is stronger than I thought it would be. Oh gosh, what the heck? Hang on. I've actually got a totally different victory condition I didn't expect to get here. Expansion victory. Because I've got so many vassals. Holy crud, I own enough of the world we can just go for this instead. Okay, build the special province improvement and hopefully win. You know, I've never done this before. Yeah, okay, we could give it a go. And in the meantime, let's turn all of my alluring manlings into angels. Very alluring indeed. Look at that! Ah, we're so cool. And just for funsies, let's go ahead and try to knock this city out of the game. Haven't had a good siege in a while now. I do miss some combat. It does look like I'm going up against a Mystic Starblade enemy, which is going to get a little bit annoying at times, for sure. That said, all I gotta do is awaken my inner radiance, and we are going to slaughter them all. Oh yeah, absolutely zero chance for survival on these losers. Cool. Let's try to knock you out, and boom, thank you, bolt repeaters. Gosh dang, I love the combination of Materium and so many different builds. It's so much fun. All right, lost absolutely nothing, took that out, so that should take out their capital city and their ruler, which means that player should be removed from the game. Bye, sucker! Time to unlock the Tome of the God Emperor. That is tier 5 for order, at which point I now should have unlocked everything I would need in order to go for a science victory, but at this point we're already just a few turns away from going for an expansion victory, so yeah, it turns out diplomacy, faster than science, despite the fact that we've actually had ridiculous amounts of science this game. Kinda nuts. Oh, but unfortunately my 2 allies have decided to attack each other. You know, that actually works out just fine for me, though. You guys go ahead and kill each other for no reason, while I just enjoy sitting back and winning the game. We really haven't had to worry at all about the Rally of Lieges system. I mean, we totally could. Like, look how much money I've got. Almost 10,000 gold that I barely touched, because we got so much from all of my vassals, and we could just summon huge armies of decent tier 3 and tier 2 units at a moment's notice, if we wanted to, with this whole Muster of the Lieges system. And it only gets better with some of the Order affinity. So, like, wow, we're not even at our full potential because I haven't needed it. Okay, so let's see. At this point, I've got 137 out of 113 provinces. I've now built 3 beacons of unity. Now we need to light the beacons and then defend them for 15 turns. Exactly the same sort of thing we would do if we were to build up the seeds for a science victory. You know, you gotta build those things and you just gotta hold on to it for 15 turns. But I'm pretty sure we can just go under spells then. Can we light the beacons somewhere? How does one light it to the beacons? Maybe you bring units over here and then, light the beacons of unity. There we go, start the victory timer. Doink! All right, here we go. Yeah, so Arachna wants to declare war on me, which, like, you know, fair enough. She knows I'm about to win the game. The other 2 players shouldn't really want to declare war on me anytime soon, if ever at all. And I should have enough defensive armies that I'm okay, especially with so many city-states kind of functioning like a buffer. I got nothing to worry about here. I'm going to assume that on occasion, some random armies are going to spawn around these, just like they would for the science victory, but maybe I'm wrong on that point. One thing we can do that's going to be a huge power spike, we can go to the order affinity over here and go for knightly orders, which gives every different unit type some sort of an extra trait, which can be pretty darn strong. So let's get that one. Oh, yep, sure enough. All right, here come a whole bunch of small units that spawn around my beacons. This is a little bit annoying. You have to have enough armies to defend against every player wanting to kill you. Plus, you have to deal with all these little guys. Ugh. All right, fine. Okay, all right. So the enemy is indeed moving in on Halcyon over here. Well, we probably should defend them, even though they are by a long shot the weakest of all of my vassals. Still, let's go to this whole Rally of Legions thing. What can we get for you that would make a difference? Maybe some spears and priests and stuff. Bannermen. Sure, I don't know. And the thing is, I have so many vassals, I have so many recruitment points that I can just reinforce like crazy, so I'm already reinforcing like an extra 10 units. And we can add on at least a couple more onto that, so let's just go ahead and send all of this. So in theory, within a couple of turns, I think is how this works. A lot of units are suddenly going to appear around Halcyon, and they haven't even begun the siege, and I'm betting it's going to take more than 2 turns, so they're probably fine, and I can just sit back and wait for 8 more turns and win the game. And yep, there they go. Huge armies just appeared around Halcyon. Wow, and that cost me an absolute pittance and was not very difficult to send huge armies. If these guys had committed, they'd suddenly find themselves facing off against a pretty large force. Yeah, that's pretty darn powerful. Yup. And we could have made that even better if I had tried. I mean, what if I had used the Rally of Lieges fires off 5 turns faster and costs half as much gold? Not that we didn't have any issues with gold, but you get the idea. Just do this more often, reset our recruitment points, and heck, on top of that, we could have gone for the Rite of the Banners and go for another event right off the bat with units for free with 10 more recruitment points. Jeez Louise. How does one beat this in something like multiplayer, right? If you can get what I've managed to accomplish, and actually get every single city-state before anyone else was able to ally them, with all these free resources as an order faction, how do you stop this? We can reinforce massive armies literally anywhere you attack me. That's nuts. Yep, new rally's already started, and that's back to 42 recruitment points, and now I can just go ahead and recruit entire new armies like this all over again, and it's going to cost me almost nothing. Wow. This build has a lot more potential than I thought it did, to be honest. It really is stupidly strong. I mean, to be fair, it's not like I would be able to get away with something like this in a multiplayer game, right? There's no way that other players would let me get every single one of the free cities as a vassal and enjoy tons and tons of free resources. There's no way I'd be able to get up to 52 recruitment points so I can just get tons of free armies just like that. Like, it's not going to happen in the real world, but you see the potential of what could happen. And that in and of itself is really scary to me. Not to mention how easy and passive this playstyle is. You don't have to be some sort of tactical genius. We barely even got into combat at all. It was not even the aggressor. We just sat back and won. That's it. We just went around, met people, gave them a good time, right? Made them all friends, and then we won. That's all there was to it. It was that simple. It feels like a really rare thing in any 4X game where a diplomatic approach is as viable, if not more efficient than conquest, but here it is, guys. Jeez, that was strong. Anyway, 4 more Pantheon points for me. Hooray. Very, very cool and powerful build. Now, the thing I'm trying to think through here is, did we really need something like Bannerlords? Bannerlords wasn't bad in the sense that, yeah, having a guaranteed free city early on can be good. It gets you some extra resources on turn 1. But notice that we did not get as much value out of Halcyon as we did all the other cities. Their trades were weaker for the entire game. So we could probably have done without this, and I think that Chosen Uniters would have been completely fine. That said, again, it's a bit more luck dependent, if potentially more powerful. Then again, Bannerlords also would give the Rally of Lieges system twice as often. So depending on how often you use that, and we know it's powerful, maybe this is actually still good. Or alternatively, if you don't like it, all right, fine, go for Chosen Uniters. I don't really see any problem with that, but regardless, it all comes down to Silver Tongued. It is a very, very strong trait. Thank y'all for watching, hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.